Coming up on this edition of Whether or Not, we've got nature in the news stories on bug eating and also some funding that will help improve Lake Erie's shores. We've also got a feature on the new Whether or Not members that will be joining us for the upcoming spring semester. And as always, we have your extended forecast, and it's a chilly one. That's all coming up. Whether or Not starts right now. Hello and welcome to this edition of Whether or Not. I'm your host, Juklo.
And I'm your forecaster, Colby McCabe.
Well, Colby, it's our last show together. Semester is winding down, and of course it's December now, which means weather's getting colder. Do we have any hope for milder weather in the foreseeable future?
No, Addis, unfortunately, I think we've dealt with our mild weather. We've enjoyed it, but I think the winter is here to stay, at least in the medium range. You'll see in my forecast coming up, we've got a big dip in temperatures and what we'd expect this time in December, not what we've seen before.
Well, looks like Jack Frost is making an early appearance this year, I'd say.
That is true.
Well, of course, we'll have all the details in that coming up. We'll start it off with the nature in the news. Green stormwater infrastructure, greenway planning, and shoreline enhancement strategies are just a few of 15 projects that have recently been awarded over $500,000 in grants from the Department of Environmental Protection. It was done to protect and restore the state's two coastal zones along Lake Erie and the Delaware Estuary. Quote, "Our coastal zones are vital environmental, economic, and community resources for the Commonwealth," said DEP Secretary Patrick McDonald. Coastal zones are the area where land meets coast and include both coastal waters and adjacent shorelines, who are under increasing pressure from development and erosion. Coastal zone grants are awarded to projects related to fisheries, wetlands, stormwater management improvements, recreation, public education, and other areas. This year, 15 nonprofit organizations and government agencies received funding. Two of the largest grants went to the Delaware River Basin Commission to examine nutrient treatment technologies, and the other went to Erie County to provide technical assistance for Lake Erie coastal zone projects.
After watching locals in Malawi snacking on flying termites, British charity worker Shami Radia opened a pop-up restaurant in London with a 7-course menu dedicated to insects. With 400 satisfied customers in 5 days, Radia and his friend Neil Whippy created Eat Grub in 2014, which is a business selling insect-based foods to major online retailers and supermarkets, including Amazon. Eat Grub is among a wave of social enterprises with an eye on a global looming protein shortage and climate change that are tempting people to eat insects instead of meat. The edible bug business is booming with a global market of $33 million in 2015, according to the research firm Global Market Insights, which expects it to grow to 40% by 2023. Methane from cows contributes to greenhouse gas emissions, while clearance of land for cattle pasture also drives destruction of the Amazon, often described as the lungs of the planet. The websites may state that insects are the protein of the future, but I think I'll leave the insect eating to Timon and Pumbaa from The Lion King and instead focus on my other ways to reduce my ecological footprint.
One Pittsburgh startup, Module, is making it possible for prospective homeowners to buy just the house they need now, knowing they can expand when and if their needs change tomorrow. Module creates urban homes that can grow as the owner's needs, family, or lifestyle changes. Incorporating a patent-pending wall system and design platform, Module Home Designs allow residents to expand a 1-bedroom starter unit into a 3-bedroom house, providing just the right amount of space at the right time. Module homes come in 3 starter unit designs of 600, 1,000, and 1,200 square feet. Homeowners can expand up to 3 stories in height, maxing out at 2,000 square feet. Module's demo unit, located on Pittsburgh's north side, incorporates a clean, contemporary aesthetic with energy-saving and sustainable design features that include the use of wool insulation. By building only the amount of house that is needed, the process naturally cuts back on excess use of materials and eliminates the energy waste that comes with heating and cooling of large spaces.
Typically, we're the ones who like to keep our plants warm during the winter. Now, it's about time they return the favor. A new type of indoor farm called Plantagon City Farm is set to begin production in early 2018 in Stockholm, Sweden, and will allow for heat to be used to keep the office building in which they're located warm throughout the winter. the heat is captured from the LED lights that shine above the vertical towers of plants and is moved into a heat storage system for the building. Normally, the heat would have to be vented out and air conditioning would be needed to keep the plants from becoming too warm. This innovative storage of heat saves money in two ways: by eliminating the need for air conditioning by the plants and by saving more in the heating bill by using the heat in the storage system. The building is set to open between 2020 and 2021, and the more Plantagon City farms are in talks to be created in countries such as Singapore and China, where food production remains a struggle due to lack of farming land and a booming population, respectively. Old Man Winter is back and with a vengeance. Hi, I'm Colby McCabe here to give you your central Pennsylvania forecast. Looking first into the upper air maps, we can see that cold air up north will be digging its way into our area, especially between Saturday and Sunday, which will be ushering in a period of cold weather that we don't expect to leave anytime soon. But looking specifically into the maps on Friday, we can see a high pressure building up here, giving us some westerly winds, but just some partly sunny conditions, nothing in terms of precipitation. Saturday, however, that all changes as we have a low pressure up in the Great Lakes area, and we have a coastal low developing as well, although we'll be more interested in this low pressure up here. That'll be more of a problem for the I-95 cities, Philadelphia, maybe New York. But for State College, we're expecting maybe a chance of some snow showers, but mostly sunny skies. Just nothing too much in terms of precipitation, but we might see a passing snow shower or two. Similar case on Sunday as that coastal low moves up here. We can see the high pressure will build in again, and we have a northwesterly wind, which will have a chance to bring us some lake effect precip as you see it carries over the Great Lakes into our area. But again, maybe just a scattered snow shower or two, nothing much in terms of precipitation. Looking into the specifics, Friday, 33 degrees with mostly sunny skies. A nice day, but cold. Certainly not what we've been seeing the past few days. Friday night, we have 20 degrees, mostly clear skies, and cold. Bring out that winter jacket if you have any plans going out Friday night. But Saturday, once again, we'll see 33 degrees, partly sunny, with a chance of some snow showers associated with that low pressure system off the Great Lakes. And then Sunday, we have 31 degrees, another partly sunny day, but with a chance of snow shower or two from the lake effect precipitation. And now here's Brian with a feature on the outgoing and incoming Whether or Not cast members.
Believe it or not, this episode marks the end of yet another season of Whether or Not. And while Addis, Christy, Andy, and Jake will all be returning next season, sadly, Colby and myself will be leaving after this episode. We take some time to reflect on our time here on Whether or Not and introduce you to the newest cast members. Colby and I have been Whether or Notters for the last 2 seasons, and while I am at Penn State for 1 more semester before I graduate, Colby will graduate in less than 2 weeks. He really enjoyed his time on the show.
Had a good time. I really enjoyed the experience, and it was, like I said, it's a good way to, separate yourself from the academics for a bit to do a little professional work that could, really help you if you want to go into TV.
Colby has decided that he will pursue a career path other than television.
I definitely see myself working in the National Weather Service or at some private company, just doing some forecasting. I just really like working behind the scenes more. I don't think the TV lifestyle is for me, but I did enjoy my time.
And with Colby and I leaving, it's out with the old and in with the new. 2 new cast members will join the crew, and they both have unique stories. Brandon Sawyer is a junior student studying meteorology here at Penn State and hails from almost halfway across the country.
I'm actually originally from Rosemont, Minnesota, so kind of a ways away from PA, but I have family from Pittsburgh, so kind of drew me out here.
He comes from a proud military family, which also played a role in his decision to come here.
Well, my father flew in the Navy. He flew P-3s, and then my older brother just commissioned from the Naval Academy 2 years ago now.
Brandon is indeed continuing his family's military tradition right here at Penn State.
I got a Navy ROTC scholarship here, so I'll be spending 5 to 10 years in the Navy after I get out.
His interest in weather was piqued while flying in airplanes with his dad.
Ever since I was a kid, I've been interested in the weather. My dad flew for the airlines, so before 9/11 I actually got to sit in the cockpit a few times and I get to fly with him, so I was up in the air a lot, which really sparked my interest in learning about how the weather works.
The other new member of the team is senior Bree Guy. She actually was not a meteorology major when she first got here.
I actually started off as a theater major here. I switched my sophomore year to meteorology because I've always been interested in the weather since 7th grade. I watched a video about tornadoes and then volcanoes. The next week I was like, this is my thing, natural disasters. But so that's why I chose Penn State, because I originally wanted to double major in both.
So you might be wondering, how did she get interested in two seemingly opposite topics?
So I actually went to a performing arts high school in Pittsburgh, and I've always been passionate about theater, and then so that's why I decided to go to college for it. And then, but meteorology, my mom always says, like, two sides of my brain, like always working.
But Bree isn't the only new cast member involved with the performing arts.
I was in all-state choir my junior and senior year of high school, and so kind of drove me to sing in college as well, because music is something I love, and I couldn't imagine it not being in my life. So here at school, I'm in the Glee Club, as well as I started a choir in my Navy ROTC unit.
Both Bree and Brandon feel that the performing arts will translate well to broadcasting.
It just kind of helps build confidence, both being in front of people and displaying like your talents and everything like that.
Just being able to communicate with people, being able to actually connect with your audience, actively listen, actively like be present wherever you are at all times.
They both hope to gain valuable experience in TV broadcasts from their time on Whether or Not.
After taking like these classes here, I've found a new passion for it, and I really want to learn more about it, and I feel like being a part of the Whether or Not team will help me gain that experience.
Well, I wanted to get some more experience with broadcasting, because when I get out of the Navy, it's definitely something that I'm interested in doing.
One thing that's for sure is that Bree and Brandon both can't wait to get started.
Just like excited to be a part of this, and I'm excited to see like what else I can learn and experience.
Well, I'm thrilled to be a part of the team, and I know I have big shoes to fill, so I'm looking forward to that.
Kind words there for Brandon, and I can honestly say that I will always cherish my time here on Whether or Not, and can very confidently say that Whether or Not is in very good hands going forward. Signing off one last time for Whether or Not, I'm Brian Cizek.
A cold and relatively dry week is in store for our area. Hi, I'm Colby McCabe, back to give you your extended forecast for central Pennsylvania. Looking first at the weekend recap, we'll have a high of around 33 degrees on Friday with mostly sunny skies, with highs in 33 and 31 on Saturday and Sunday, with a chance of snow showers on both days. Saturday from that low pressure system in the Great Lakes, and Sunday with a chance of lake effect. And looking at our extended forecast, we'll see December weather will reign supreme throughout the week, with highs dipping below the average of around 39, 40 degrees throughout the week. The peak of the cold will be midweek and Wednesday, and Tuesday and Thursday we have a chance of seeing some snow showers on either day, but nothing too much in terms of precipitation totals.
Well, Colby, thanks. It does look like Old Man Winter will be here to stay for a good bit based on that forecast.
That's right, Addis. December weather is here, and it is here to stay, though no snow. But we will still be getting to that holiday spirit as finals week approaches and ends.
Yeah, any sunshine this time of year is great, and we have the holiday spirit to cheer us up, so we can take the cold here in Pennsylvania.
Absolutely. No one does better.
On this last show, an appropriate question that we asked you earlier, the episode marks the end of what season of Whether or Not? Was it A, the 13th, B, 15th, C, 18th, or D, the 20th? If you guessed C, you are correct. Whether or Not started in spring of 2003. The season used to be year-long, but was changed to semester-long recently.
That's right, Addison. No matter how long the season is, Penn State students have been covering interesting weather stories and giving you your weekend extended forecast every week.
Well, Colby, this is your last show. We're going to miss you and Brian, of course, but we have some very capable people coming in next semester.
That is certainly true. I've enjoyed my time, but I feel good knowing that the show is in good hands.
Yes, it is. And we hope all of you have enjoyed watching us this semester. That is all the time we have for this edition of Whether or Not. I'm your host, Addis Juklo.
And I'm your forecaster, Colby McCabe.
Have a great weekend and a Happy New Year, everybody.